welcome to Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Patrick Cristiano, your host, the publisher of TheaterLife.com, a website for theater buffs covering all things theater. And I have a special guest today, Antonella Bertello. Antonella Bertello. I didn't do it so beautifully. It's such a beautiful name.
Thank you.
You might want to say it really perfectly.
Italian, although I was born and raised in Peru, and thank you for having me.
She's the owner and the proprietor of the Baker House, 1650 on Main Street in East Hampton, which is the most ideal, the quintessential, I think, boutique hotel probably in the world. But I'm a little partial because it's here in East Hampton. It is definitely the best in the Hamptons for sure.
Thank you.
And thank you again for coming. I want to share, we're here with my dog, Truman, because we are dog lovers. Mrs. Truman, here he is.
Hi.
And Tell and I met when Truman was 11 weeks old at the ARF Walk to the Sea.
We did.
And now you have a new baby too.
I have
that's
a new
11
baby.
weeks old.
11 weeks old. Her name is Joya. She's a yellow lab, a female. And the name means joy in Italian. And she's joining us, our little family. Bella is also another yellow lab. She's 3 years old. And she has been the craziest and most mischievous dog I've ever owned, or known for that matter. But she's a darling. She's just really active, should we say. Yeah.
I'm giving him a little treat, but it was our common bond, the dogs, and then you got a new one. It was really cool. And when we were at ARF, and I've always been fond of the Baker. I don't know. Probably don't know, but I was at the Baker House very early. You've had it now for 18 years.
18 years.
Yeah, and you had a benefit something 18 years ago when you first got it.
Well, we've done a lot of things throughout the years. We're, of course, big ARF supporters. We always co-sponsor the Stroll to the Beach. I think it's one of the nicest events in the Hamptons, in all of the Hamptons. It gives you a
one of the
chance.
sponsors of that event. I didn't know that. That's great.
We always do, and we will be again for this October.
Because we're going back, and I can't wait.
Oh, we have to work together.
Okay.
It's just, I think it's just such an amazing event because people show up with members of their family, right? All these gorgeous dogs are around. And I think it creates, like it did for us, a special bond among the people that go there, the dog owners, that otherwise you don't really get to experience unless you're at the dog park, and we're also busy, so it's more difficult to connect. Or at the beach before 9 or after 6, correct? Which I try to do every day, and I
do it every day. I'm at the beach every day.
In the mornings or in the
Both,
afternoons?
both.
I really try, but
my dog loves the mornings especially. But now tell me, let's go back. You're Italian and Peruvian.
Yes, I have both nationalities, but I was born and raised in Peru until I was 14. And then
what drew you to how did you get involved in real estate, right?
Well, that's a really interesting question. My father and my grandfather on my father's side, were involved in real estate forever. They did developments in Peru, beach.
So you grew up around it all the time.
Not only that, but my
father. Grease
father,
paint kind of, right?
Yeah, but my father was very attached to his properties, like I am to mine. And when we were little, he would take my brother and I. My brother is about 3 years younger than me, 3.5, and he would take us on the weekends to see the projects that he was working on. And he said, "These are your brothers and sisters for the projects." So that's the attachment that we developed towards the properties.
It was real family, in other words.
Oh yeah. And then he branched out from Peru into Argentina, Venezuela, Costa Rica, and Miami. So Miami was always Key Biscayne, right next to Miami is one of the first keys of Miami, has always been our second home. So
which key is that?
Key Biscayne,
okay,
which is wonderful. And it's very funny how you gravitate towards the things that you know. Key Biscayne is very similar to East Hampton. It's a small village, very much closer to a big city, which is Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about 12-minute drive, 15-minute drive. but you have to go through a causeway, and it's really an island, right?
Right.
But connected through a causeway to the mainland.
So it's really easy to get to Miami, though.
Oh, yeah, 10 minutes. Well, not 10, 15 minutes, let's say. And it's a beautiful drive because you're
Do
driving.
you still have a home there too now?
Yes, yes, we have a home with the family that we've had. My father bought that apartment in 1976, so it's been a long time. Yeah, and actually, once I think that COVID and made us all rethink how we're living and where we're living. So I used to live in the city and out here.
So so you're doing real estate with Corcoran in the city. That's how you
Yes.
started, and you're buying properties out here. Is that what you're doing?
I was doing that for a while with a group of investors, and I was the managing partner.
Okay.
And
Who would pick the properties? Do you do it together? Or?
well, we did it together. I would go and see most of them, and then we would get together with the partners, and I would show them the selected properties, and then together we would decide which one to go for. And in most cases, there were renovations, renovations.
Did you build house? Did you build any houses?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, tell me when did you stumble upon the Baker House?
Well, when we were doing the investment properties.
What year?
This
Did you
is
see it for the first time?
2004.
Did you buy it the first year? How long did you think about it before you bought it?
We thought about it for a week, I think. Yeah. We're people that pull the trigger quickly,
Fill me in because it's I don't remember now. But how long was it on the market when you saw it?
Well, I think it wasn't on the market for that long. It must have been on the market for about 6 months.
Well, that's a good long time.
And I think that people were very interested, but we're a little scared of, what does it really mean to run a B&B, in the Hamptons.
So you're
right?
talking about your group.
Yeah. So, well, but yes, because I did present that alternative to them, and we were looking at properties to do the next investment property. And it was, we were trying to do a 1031 exchange. So we needed to get a property relatively within the time limits and so forth.
You don't know how much time.
Yeah, we all do.
I've done a few.
Yeah. So, and I walked in and I saw that beautiful wooden door. And I guess my whole European side really kicked in very quickly. And
How could it not?
I fell in love with the property. And then, I met the owners, Rita and Gary Ricewick, at that time. And, they were doing okay. I saw an enormous potential, because I am the type of person that does think outside of the box. But, I thought that we could do a lot better with the property. But, were we going to, what did it mean to run a B&B in the Hamptons?
You'd never
right?
done it before.
No. But I said, okay.
And none of the properties your father did, they were never B&B. So
No,
this was like the
we
first.
did industrial, commercial, strip malls, residential.
It's really a complete departure.
Yeah, which, it is associated to real estate as well,
No,
right?
but it's a departure.
Yeah. So, and I called my lawyer, I called my accountant, and my bankers, and I said, okay, well, there's this. What do you think? And so we did a.
Now, did you buy it as your individually, or your group bought it?
No, actually, I bought it with my ex-husband.
Okay.
Yes, and since
So your group didn't want it because they didn't like the idea of the bed and breakfast.
they wanted more to continue doing the the flipping, right? And we did quite well with the flipping.
Right.
The properties that we did, we were caught in the last one in 2008 with the financial crisis, so
Right.
that wasn't too much fun.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we at least made some money, so it was the end result was good.
We're talking so much. Let's show the viewers what the Baker House is if they're not familiar with
Oh, I
this
would love to.
magnificent place on Main Street. John, could we have the front, the Baker House? This from the rear. I didn't put any of the front images in, just the back one.
This is the infinity pool that we added when we bought it. So by the summer of 2005, that pool was already in, because the listing said that there was a pool, but I couldn't see one.
It wasn't a pool. It was
there-
like a lap thing. A little.
there is a small
I
pool
know. I know.
in the spa that is fantastic, which is swim
Right,
against the
right.
current, right? Yeah.
So we have another with some more images of the Baker House. Let's have them all. Just another picture of the Baker House from the back, and then we have the carriage house. Let's have that. The next image, 3. Now this you bought only 5 years ago, right?
Well, actually, it's 13 years ago already.
My
It's
concept of
the-
time.
well, of all of us, time is just flying by, right?
You could take it down, John. And
But,
but it's on an adjoining property.
The carriage house used to be the original carriage house to the main house.
Right, right.
And I didn't know it existed, right? And so one day
Have they gotten separated and
it was an estate that consisted of 3 properties, and at some point back in time, it got separated into 3. So you had the main house, the guest house, and then the carriage house in the back, where the horses and the carriages lived, right, basically. At some point, and it's unclear when, the guest house on the 3rd lot burned down, and it was reconstructed in this mansard style. So I've tried desperately to get some images of what that guest house looked like and so forth through the library and so forth. I've never been able to. The library, the East Hampton Library, was phenomenal.
They're lovely. Our library is so special.
Yeah, and they had so many records and so much of the history, because when we were buying the house, we knew that it was part of the historical district of East Hampton Village, and we wanted to be historically correct
Of
when,
course.
they
make you too, don't they?
well, they give you certain leeway, but the house, when we bought it, the 181 Main Street, the Baker House, used to be called the J. Harper Poor Cottage.
After the 3rd owner. I did a little bit of research.
Yeah. So, and he was the one that actually converted it into what it is today. He added the 2 wings, right, and converted the salt box structure into the Elizabethan Tudor type of structure that it is now. And he was from the Standard and Poor family. So many of my American friends were saying, well, Standard and Poor is such a lovely name, you should keep it. But all my other friends, the Europeans, the Central Americans, the South Americans, were saying, because everybody ended up, calling it the poor house or the poor cottage.
That would be. But
So-
now, how many rooms do you have that you read? That you
5. In the main house, it's 5 rooms.
But they're not just rooms. They're all. I mean, you have to go to the website. It's thebakerhouse.com. Is that
The
it?
Baker House
I
1650.com.
keep bakerhouse1650.com. You can go to the website. You can see all the rooms and all the prices and all the different things that they do. But the rooms they're not just individuals. They're suites and
Yeah, they're big rooms, especially
like
by
850 square feet. Some of them.
Some of them are that big,
Yes.
yes. And then afterwards, when we bought the carriage house, we kept on being asked that people wanted bigger and bigger rooms, right? And they wanted to suite off rooms so that their kids could be in one room and they could be in the adjoining room. So we made a couple of changes to be able to make that happen. And then people wanted bigger and bigger suites. So in the carriage house, we have 3 very big suites. So I live in one of them, and it's just lovely to be able to live there on the premises, because you get to meet a lot of really fascinating people, right? From all walks of life.
it's terrific.
I mean, from, painters to actors to politicians to incredible business people, right? Businessmen and businesswomen. And it's just so much fun to be able, to actually live with these people for a few days, or in some cases.
But
for a
are you
week.
only here in the summer?
Well, I am here a lot. Last year, I decided to sell my New York City apartment. I briefly spoke about that. I think that COVID really made us all realize how and where we want to live. And now, also I have a new project that I'm working on with my family called Marina Coast Peru. So, which is a big marina development with apartments, yacht club.
Now, how long has this been in the works? What's it called?
Marina Coast, Peru.
Okay.
So
You know, we have a little video. Well, before we get to the Marina Coast review, I just
Sure.
want to show the people because I have a couple of images of the pool and the spa. You talked about the
Oh,
little pool.
yes,
So
yes.
can we just have the before we go to the Marina, the Baker House, the rest of the images.
This is one of the places where we have brunch or breakfast. It's under a 300-year-old wisteria, which is lovely, purple wisteria, and it's a fantastic
It's-
place to have.
The whole
brunch.
grounds are stunning, though. It's not just this one place. It's many nooks and crannies
Thank
all
you.
over it.
I mean, I don't like it that formal. I like it a little loose,
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable when it's a little bit more relaxed.
And then we have pictures of the spa. I just want to show them the spa, John.
That's the sauna,
That's
so
I love my sauna.
it's just fantastic. And we have a steam room with eucalyptus that I absolutely love. And then there's
then the
a
pool?
small, endless pool that you swim against the current.
Can we have
There's the
isn't that gorgeous?
jacuzzi. Yeah. And the beauty about this room is that when you get a spa treatment, you get the whole room. You don't get like a little room within the spa. You get the whole room for yourself, which is another level of luxury, right? I mean,
Uh-huh.
when I first bought the house, people were saying, "Oh, well, all the spa experts, if you really want to, maximize income, you should put 2 rooms on either side. Put glass with curtains," and I had a massage down there, and I remember opening my eyes and seeing the reflection of the water in the ceiling, and I said, and I'm a massage person. I love massages.
So do I.
So I said,
And can
what?
people come? Can people come to your? You have to be a guest to
You
come
have
to your.
to be a guest
what I
because
thought.
of the permits, blah
Yeah,
blah. But
that's what I thought.
there's things that can be done, like give certificate, or I can gift you a massage, So yeah, but we've been very very busy with our guests because many of them do get treatments, and then you can also reserve the whole room, just for your use for an hour or two. So a lot of people are doing that and just, not having a massage or a facial. We have some of the best therapists in the Hamptons because they love to work in the space. And I think I think there's most of the people that have been to the Baker House develop a certain love affair with it, a certain appreciation for the place. It's just.
Well, I think people that would gravitate to it would develop that kind of thing. Just the person that would naturally gravitate to your property is going to develop a love affair with it.
Yeah.
It goes in order. But I don't. I might make sure we have enough time. I want to talk a little bit about your project in Peru
Thank you.
because it looks really exciting, and we have a little video that kind of. I guess it's a teaser.
It summarizes a little bit.
It summarizes the location, what it's about. Let's start there, John, and then you'll take it from there and educate us, okay?
Sure.
Thank you, John. Whoa.
So that's a little bit of Peru
Now,
for
I
you.
have never been to Peru, so educate us a little bit about what we just saw because it's all stunning to me. It is just,
Peru is an amazingly diverse country. Um, and the people in Peru are very welcoming of tourists, of friends. So all you need to do is know one Peruvian to have a really fantastic time there, right? And very friendly, very open people. And we have uh, we have the desert, we have the Pacific Ocean. We're in the Pacific Ocean, miles and miles of ocean, and the land that comes from the ocean up is desert, except for the valleys.
wow.
So you have the desert, and then it starts going up to the Andes Mountains. So you start developing the Sierra, right, the Andes, and then it goes all the way up where you have some of the highest mountains, and then it goes down to into the Amazon. So you have all the way to the true Amazon. So that means that we have most of the climates in the world, most of the foods in the world, most of the vegetation, flora, and fauna.
And
Right?
what's the weather like?
It depends in what region you are. In the north, where we have the project, the weather is fantastic year round. We don't have any storms. No,
Does it have a change of season or it doesn't have a
no,
change?
not really, not really. The only change is that during um, your winter, our winter here, it's our summer down there, and for about 2 months you could get a couple of hours of rain per day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a beautiful place, and it was discovered by surfers. Like most beach towns, they begin with surfers,
Right.
and then they develop, they develop into these resort areas, right? So that is what's happening. There's very close to us. There's a place called Cabo Blanco that the Rockefeller family actually developed years ago in the 50s, and they call it the Cabo Blanco Fishing Club because we still have, Peru still holds the record for the largest black marlin ever caught.
How big was that?
It was 1,560
Oh my-
pounds. I mean, like
One fish.
humongous. And we hold the world record for fishermen and fisherwomen. I don't know if that's how you say it, fisherwoman, but both world records. The largest black marlin ever caught by a man or a woman, both are held by Peru. Now it's catch and release, like, of course, to protect the species and so
Mhm.
forth. And we formed an association in Peru with Pacifico Adventures, and we're trying to create this area in front of our project, a marine reserve, right? And then we are working now with International Seakeeper Society,
International what?
Seakeepers Society
Uh-huh.
here in the States. They are phenomenal in what they do. They're trying to take care of the oceans, educate the younger generations as to how to take care of the oceans, and they have these amazing programs on several different explorer yachts and so forth, where they are constantly measuring different metrics of the ocean in order to help.
Fascinating.
Oh yeah, it's
It's
they
fascinating.
do a
That's
great
utterly
job.
fascinating. So then your project, what you're developing what is it? Condominiums?
Well,
What is it?
it's an inland marina,
Mhm.
of which there are not too many in South America. Actually, there's only one additional one for large yachts,
Uh-huh.
super yachts and mega yachts, all the way in Chile. And then there's really not much. I mean, there's a few in Central America, but there's nothing on the coast, right? There's like tiny little ones that are not really for the mega yachts. And there's been a tendency also accentuated by COVID of people buying larger and larger boats, right?
So when you buy, but if you have a place on the yacht, you have also got an apartment or something like that?
Well, there's a marina, so
Uh-huh.
there's also apartments that we're selling, and we've already sold about 85% of the apartments that we released. There's a yacht club, there's going to be a marina village, and then we're going to have a strip center along the Pan American Highway. We have more than a kilometer of oceanfront beach,
Oh,
right?
fabulous.
So it's going to be really fantastic, and the marina is going to have over 330 slips for boats up to 328 feet, which are the big boats. Yeah, and one thing that's really important to mention.
When will it all be finished? What's the anticipated
We are
completion
hoping
date?
we are hoping that it'll be the third or fourth quarter of next year.
Very good. Now, we're almost out of time. If you want to learn more about the Baker House, it's the Baker House 1650.
1650.
The Baker House 1650.com. And what's the next thing you have planned at the Baker House?
Well, we're going to be doing quite a few very interesting things. We have an event with Maiden, which is this sailing boat that is coming. It's usually based in England, and they have a foundation called the Maiden Factor, where basically they teach young girls. They concentrate on the STEM program, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And
When will this be?
this will be on August 16th. August 11th, we have, you should bring Truman. We have a cocktail party to benefit the New York City Second Rescue organization, and they do amazing work. And we have a few other things planned, so we're still
Can you find it on your website too?
very soon. We're putting that up. We're also
Will be
gonna,
on the Baker House website?
Yes, it
So
will be.
if you want to see
Under
what events
events.
they might be doing, there'll be events that'll be listed at the Baker House 1650.com.
Oh, the one coming up, if anybody's interested in dancing, is Empowered Movement with Dance Body, and that is July 19th.
July 19th, Empowered Movement.
Yeah.
I love Empowered Movement. I'm
Yeah,
all for that.
You're welcome. Let's
Dance
dance.
first, think
Let's
later.
dance.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a
pleasure
pleasure.
having you.
Thank you.